Today we're focusing on winter weather in East Tennessee, looking at all the different ways the ice and snow can impact your life.
Well, this morning, WATE meteorologist Justin Kiefer shows us what types of winter weather we see here in the region.
Well, the winter weather season can give us all sorts of precipitation across East Tennessee. And so when we mention those types of precipitation, you kind of need to know what's happening in the atmosphere to produce them. We can have rain to freezing rain to sleet and snow. And as you see in the atmosphere, there's a layer of below freezing and above freezing air that helps support and produce those types of precipitation. So let's talk about rain. It falls out of the cloud, perhaps liquid, maybe even falls out of the cloud as snow, but it hits a level of air that is above freezing. And so whatever comes out of the cloud either melts or falls as rain and falls as rain all the way to the ground. That layer then is just all liquid. And that's what happens on a cold, rainy day in the wintertime. Sometimes, though, there's a layer of air that's below freezing, very close to the surface. And so while that raindrop or snowflake melts into rain, it gets down to the ground as liquid, but it hits the ground, which is at freezing or below. So trees and roads and car tops and rooftops can be at or below freezing. This rain hits it, that becomes freezing rain. And that is a very hazardous weather element here across East Tennessee. Now, sleet or ice pellets is different than freezing rain, but it is a raindrop that freezes. Let me explain. It falls out of the clouds, usually as snow. It hits this layer of air that is above freezing. So that snow will then melt into a raindrop. But then there's a sub-freezing layer of air that's kind of thicker than that freezing rain environment, and the raindrop then refreezes into an ice pellet. We call it sleet. So while, yes, it is rain that is freezing or refrozen, it's not freezing rain, it's sleet, falls, hits the ground, and usually piles up, and it looks like snow on the ground, but it's actually ice pellets. So then we're talking about snow. And when it's an all-snow event, here's what's happening. The precipitation comes out of the cloud as snow. The layer of air that's below freezing extends from the ground all the way up to the cloud level. So that snowflake falls and falls all the way through that below freezing air to the ground. That is a main snowy winter type event, and that is when the atmosphere is very cold and the snow falls and accumulates on the ground. So you kind of need to know what we're talking about when we mention rain, freezing rain, sleet, or snow, and how to handle it as we go through the winter season here across East Tennessee. And all day long here on WATE 6 on your side, we have your winter weather outlook. We're going to be talking about how to drive, what to prepare for as you get out there in the midst of a winter storm. We'll have it in all newscasts. At midday, we're going to be talking about how to drive in winter weather and what you can expect when you're on the roads this winter across East Tennessee.
Good stuff. Thank you, Justin.